Hello, Course 3 students. We are on to our final lesson of this unit, which is lesson 3.5, which is all about equations, tables, and graphs. So we have seen all three of these different types of forms that show relations, but we have not necessarily talked about them all together and going between those different types of forms. So I really liked this graphic, and I put it on here as well as the key idea part as we continue on, is that we can always change from graphs to equations, equations to tables, tables to equations, so on. And it's kind of this never-ending, we can show multiple ways to represent it. You should be watching this here on Monday. Remember, I am absent today, so make sure you're watching for code word because there'll be a code word to submit. So our lesson objective is I can generate different representations of the same graph. So again, just different ways to show this, this kind of a graph or this table or an equation. So different ways to represent this mathematically. So with this, again, I liked this graphic. So we have talked about how we can make tables. So we've made tables, especially in the lesson 3.1. And remember that we can make a x and y coordinate then, and we can translate that to making a graph. We've talked about making graphs and how to plot our points, as well as we've been at least given the equations a lot of times. They're usually what is called within this format, which is called a your slope-intercept format. We're not, I don't think, going to get through too much of like talking about this format this year. That's a little bit more of an 8th grade topic. But typically we have an equation where we have a y equals something, and then you have a type of operation that is happening. So, you know, something happening to x, and maybe something added, maybe something subtract, so on. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first example here. Our first example is asking us to make a table and sketch a graph. So here's actually my directions. Make a table and sketch a graph of the path of a submissive diving, or diver maybe, submissive diver, diving, at 50 feet per minute. The depth of the submersive is represented by this equation. Oh, look, they give me the equation. D equals negative 50m, where D is the depth and m is the number of minutes. So when I'm taking a look at word problems, I usually try to kind of underline, circle things that are important. So what I use is usually called power math, which means P, you underline the problem. So the ultimate problem is make a table and sketch a graph, or sometimes that P is a direction. Then you usually end up circling your operation. I ended up boxing it in, but our circling it in would actually be this equation, in a sense, would be our operation. Sometimes there's not always an operation within this that's very clear, seeing as we just have to make representations here. Wording, then, we like to box in wording, so I would even box in the D equals depth, so I remember what each value means within my equation. And M is the number of minutes. Then when we get to the E part of power, it's usually an estimation. So we can estimate along the way, and then R is your real answer. So let's start by setting up a table. So we have been looking at tables that look like this, x, and then we have like negative 50m, and then we have what does y mean then? Oh, so sorry, usually the x and y. So in this case, m is your x value. Again, I don't like the m and n. And then this would be considered your d value. So then we'd make a coordinate point of md. A lot of times, though, what you see is you see a a table where it just has x and y. So I want to be able to show you how to do that. In this case, we have m and we have d. So I'm going to make this a little easier, not make such a big table here. But I'm only going to pick let's pick the 3 points that I typically have been using for x. Remember, m is going to be the same as x for this. So we're going to pick one thing that's smaller, so maybe -1, one thing that, or 0, and one thing that's bigger, and 1. All right, well, instead of doing all this work of -50m, we're just going to do all the work right here. So then I'm going to plug in -1 for m, and then I go -50 times 1, -1. And negative times a negative makes a positive, so I'd have d equals a positive 50. So for d, I'm going to write in 50. Okay? So it's a little less steps that we have to do. 0, so if I plug in 0 for m, again, we're using substitution and you're just solving for m. That's basically what this table is doing. Well, -50 times 0 is going to be 0, so d would equal 0. And my last one, if I plug in a 1, -50 times a positive 1 would end up giving me -50. So now we have made the coordinate points -1, 50, 0, 0, and 1, -50. So we are going to graph those. And if you want to, you can write them as the coordinate point on the side. But as long as you're reading them left to right, they should be in the correct order. So we're going to plot these 3 points and make our graph. So I gave ourselves a blank coordinate grid, completely blank. It's got the axes, but it doesn't have what values we're going up by. So I think, just for the sake of this, maybe let's go up by 10s. So I could go up by 10s, and I'm going to make increments of 10 on here. I'm going up by increments of 10 because remember my y value has to go up to 50. I'm going to keep the x value though going up by increments of 1. And that's okay. You can do things like that. They don't have to necessarily match up. And I can label as much and as little as I want, but as long as I can see where things are going. So I'm actually going to grab a different color here. I don't know. Let's go with green. So we're going to plot the point -1, 5. So again, you start at the origin of 0, 0. I'm going to go over 1, and then I'm going to go up to 50. I think I said -1, 5. And it's actually right in the middle of where I wrote 50, which is fine. I also then have the point 0, 0, which is my origin. And then I have the point 1, -50. So I have 1, and I didn't actually label these out, but I was going up by 10. So if I'm going to -50, I have to count up by 10s, and I'm going down. -10, -20, -30, -40, -50. Graphs then are always connected through. So I'm going to try my best to connect these. And then remember, they don't just leave it like this. These graphs continue on, and we add in those arrows. Again, obviously, if we were doing paper and pencil, I want this very straight. I wouldn't necessarily count this one correct, but it is very hard to do it online. So if you're doing a digital tool, it is very hard to make it very straight. So I will be lenient on that. So here's how I took an equation, I made a table, and I made a coordinate plane grid. So let's go ahead to example 2. Example 2 then says that use the table to make a graph and write an equation. So ultimately, this whole thing is my problem. So I'm going to underline the whole thing. Use the table to make a graph and write an equation. So we have this table over here, which remember correlates with coordinate points. So here's an x and a y value. This time what it is it's horizontal instead of vertical. And so with this, I would have the point 0, 0. X and a y, I'd have the point 1, 6. And so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create the coordinate grid first. So I'm just going to pull those points and put them on my grid. I'm going to, for this one, make each space one space, so I'm not necessarily going to label it out. So I have the point 0, 0. I'd have the point 1, 6. I'm going to go over 1, up 6. Oh, actually, I don't think I can do that with the y. Let's go up by... I'm going to go up by... How many lines we got? Let's go up by increments of 4. So what I'm going to do is this one will be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. So we're going to go over 1, where we'll use the x as still a 1 value. Over 1, up to 6. So it'd be in between 4 and 8. All right, then I have 2 and 12. So I'm going to go 2 and 12. Then I have 3 and 18. So over to 3, up to 18, which is going to be in between 16 and 20. And then I have 4 and 24. Again, I want to connect these dots. I will try my best to get straight. And then they continue on because it's going to continue. It's a continuous graph. So we want to create an equation based on this. So remember, we have an equation that usually has a y and an x value. Then maybe we're going to have some other operation that's happening. So we want to plug in these values to see what would work. So think about this. 0 comes out as 0. Okay, so to me that means we're not adding or subtracting anything, but maybe we're multiplying and dividing something. So thinking back to those, those rules. Well, if I plug in 1 and I get 6, and I said there's no adding or subtracting now, which shows me probably a multiplication of 6. Does that work for 2? 2 times 6? Yeah, that does give me 12. So when I write out this equation, the rule is times 6. So what we do to write that is you have y equals 6 times that x value, 6x. And that's how I would write out that equation. So you have to have y equals something, and something's happening to that x, some operation, depending on the rule that you give. All right, we have one last one, and this time we actually are given the graph. So far we've been given the equation, we make the other two. We've been given a table, we've been making the other two. This time we get a graph, we're gonna make the other two. So this one says to use the graph to make a table and to write out an equation. So we're just gonna create that basic table again. And basically what I'm doing is I'm going to look for those points, or points that are on the line, because right now it doesn't actually have dots. But look where they cross the exact corners of these boxes. So like I can notice right here, it goes through right here. It goes right there. It goes right there. It goes here, right in those corner of those boxes. So I could pick all of those values. So that first one I looked at goes over to -3 and down to -2. So it'd be -3, -2. The next one I saw was -2, -1. I saw -1, 0. I saw 0, -0, +1. I also saw 1, 2, and I saw 2, 3. So when I create this, I want to think about what rule is happening that would work for every single thing. I usually kind of look at 0 first as a good indicator. So 0 to 1. Okay, well maybe we're adding. Let's think, okay. What if we added 1? Okay, 1 plus 1, that gives me 2. 2 plus 1, yeah, that gives me 3. So this is a +1 rule. To write it out, I'm going to have y equals... Oh wait, code word. Happy holidays. That was your code word. If you missed it, go back. Happy holidays. So my rule was +1, so we have y equals x, remember, and then the operation that's happening is +1, and that's how I would write out an equation. I will see you all on Tuesday. Email me if you got any questions. We'll see you then.